Well, hi everyone. This is Jilly Littles and Crone. Welcome to my channel. Welcome back. If you're coming back to visit, I'm so happy that you're here today because, well, I've been trying to shoot this video for a week, and every time I go to shoot it, something happens. Like one time it was a phone call. Another time somebody came to my door in the middle of the day, which just never happens. And then this time I went to film it, and I'm going to lower my voice here for a second. And my neighbors started arguing in their front yard. And he has his truck, or had his truck, parked in front of our house. And he's throwing stuff into his truck and just sped away. So I'm going to try to do this kind of quickly. But I have wanted to do this for a long time. This is a requested video. It has been requested by my dear friend Simon at the Hermit's Cave. Apparently, he likes the way I do walkthroughs. I don't do walkthroughs often. I don't think I do such a great job with walkthroughs. I think he's the king of the walkthrough. And so many of you out there do great walkthroughs. But I did tell him I would do a walkthrough of this deck because when I got it, I was so excited, and we were on Glide together, and I described the deck, and he just laughed and said, "Oh my gosh, you have to do a walkthrough of the deck." So the deck is Tarot des Arcs. This is a handful of gorgeousness. This is a party in a pack. This deck is Mardi Gras and laughter and fun and deliciousness. I love this deck, and I want to show it to you. But first, when I heard the name Tarot des Arcs, he's French, you know? And I took 5 years of French. I can't speak it very well at all because, you know, if you don't use it, you lose it. But the first thing that I thought about living in the United States was, wow, that sounds a lot like Ozarks. And then I looked up the creator of the deck, LaPage, and why, yes, she lives in the Ozark Mountains. So then I thought, I wonder if she just called this deck Des Aux Arcs, you know, to make it sound like we say in this country, instead of Target, if we want to be really fancy, we say Target. So I thought, I wonder if like it's a play on words like that. So then I looked up the Ozark Mountains, and what do you know? So way back when, if we remember at all, those of us who are American, if we remember our American history, there was a little thing called the Louisiana Purchase, where the French sold us a big patch of land. And the Ozarks were part of that. So we had French people who came to survey the land that they were going to parcel off and sell the United States. And as they were surveying, or, you know, it may have been even before that. I've heard two stories. I've heard that it was when they were going to parcel the land off, and then I heard it's when they discovered this part of the country. And it really makes sense that it would have happened when they were discovering it. So anyway, the cartographers were surveying to do maps. And when they saw these beautiful mountains, the Ozarks are famous for their their steepness. So they have, you know, they're steep, and they have deep valleys. So they looked like, well, what I thought was arcs, but what they're saying is bows. So they called it Des Aux Arcs. The bows the Mountains of the Bows. I also believe that there was an indigenous tribe with that name. I read that somewhere as well. So there's lots of different legends. But anyway, this deck that Lori LaPage created, and this deck is, I mean, you know, she created this deck. It's her original art. You'll see that if you haven't in just a minute. But it's not expensive. Like, it's, for me, it was $31 with shipping. It does not come in a box. And so it comes shrink wrapped. And, you know, that's part of your savings, is that there's not a box. But those of us who are in love with tarot, we're probably also in love with tarot bags and tarot boxes. So Mr. Honey is making me a box for this to go in, because I think that this deck will be my favorite. Well, it is right now. It's my favorite Marseille type deck. So let me get on with taking the camera down and showing you these beautiful, beautiful cards. Be right back. And we're back. So I know not all of this is in the frame, but can you see these absolutely gorgeous colors? This is why I say that this deck is like a party in a pack. It's just so cool. So let's straighten this out, and you're gonna hear squeaking in the background because I am getting my sitting down, standing up, sitting down, standing up. Okay. Whoops. All right. So here we have our Fool. And our Magician. And I can't see these from where I am as well as you can, so I'm not going to go through and name every single card, but I am going to name this one because I love this card. So this is the High Priestess, and for me this is reminiscent of the Black Madonna, who is on my altar. I found a little stone carving of her in a flea market shop up in the mountains here, and brought her home with me about 3 years ago and have had her ever since. The artwork in these cards just really, I don't know, it makes me happy. It's very, like I would say, you know, it's not an illustration necessarily. Look at this Hierophant. Now, to me, he is reminiscent of like a French Canadian trapper. He's wearing a toque and he's got a mustache, and they're, you know, French men from Canada did come down here. This is, you know, this was their land at one time. Now we change to this beautiful kind of mustardy color. The other thing that is really kind of I like are the animals. Now I think these might be oxen. But they're so disproportionate to the chariot. And I'm sure that there's a reason for that. The wheel. Oh, let me go back for just a second and show you. Well, that would be the Hermit. I want to show you. So this is the Lovers. And again, we have this choice going on, but okay, there are the angel wings. Yeah, okay. I was going to say I didn't see an angel, but I do. Never mind. The other thing that I wonder if any of you noticed was that even though this is a Marseille type deck, it is not a true Marseille deck, because we would have in a true Marseille deck, as opposed to a Waite Smith deck, strength and justice are reversed. And in this deck, we have the Waite Smith form of strength and justice, strength being 8 and justice being 11. So you can't look at this death card. You can't say that it's a true Marseille deck, but you know what? It doesn't matter to me. I just love it. And here's the color changes again. Oh, look at this. There's a tower and a half for you. And we have the typical Marseille, no naked baby, but 2 people. And there's the world. Now, wait. Okay. So this would be our suit of cups. Yes. And I love these. They look so happy. The color change just adds so much interest to this deck for me. I'm really, this is one of the things that I just really love about this. There's our page, and there's our knight. And here again, we have disproportionate size, but it's charming. It's charming. And here's our wands or batons. I don't know why, but in Marseille decks, every time I see batons, I think of the American cartoon, The Flintstones, and Bam Bam. I know. You can dress me up, but I just think they're beautiful. And here we have another color change. And that's, I'm going to say it again, like that's what makes this deck so interesting. And then here we have, almost an illustration in the background. And here as well. I mean, so you can get even if you don't read, pip decks, or if you don't like to read pip decks, you can kind of get the feel of these cards from the pip. There's our knight. Now this is the queen. This Queen of Wands looks like she means business for sure. And then look at these. Oh, beauty. Beautiful. Look at it. That's like a party right there. I think that, you know, if you don't have a Marseille deck in your collection, if you're a person that's been, like I was for a long time, that, you know, I was not going to read with Marseille. I mean, sad to say, but when I first started reading and collecting tarot, I couldn't appreciate. I just didn't appreciate the Marseille system. And I feel so much differently for it now. I don't necessarily read with it, but it is the more original, if you want to say that, tarot. And if you want to purchase a deck, and if this art style, you know, the art style isn't for everyone, but I really find it endearing. It adds to me, it adds to like the Marseille charm. And there's so much color in this deck. A lot of the Marseille decks can seem very sort of block printy because they were. I mean, that's how they were, you know, made originally. And so this is a deck that is fun and colorful, and look at that gorgeousness. And something that's not, you know, it's not wickedly expensive. And it's something I think that you could, you know, purchase this deck, and except for strength and justice not being reversed in this deck, you know, that's something you can get around in a Marseille book. You could purchase a book about reading the Marseille Tarot and really have some fun with this little deck. So I hope that you enjoyed my little walkthrough of this adorable deck. Just beautiful, beautiful deck. And one other thing I wanted to mention, well, two other things I wanted to mention about it. A lot of people have a problem with these decks. I say, look at the backs, the party starts here. I think they're adorable. I think they match the decks. And you know, when you're self-publishing a deck like that on oh my gosh, now I can't remember the website where you can purchase these, but it'll be below. I will link it below. And the shipping is very quick, but I'm sure that when you do a self-published deck like that, you don't have a plethora of back choices. And you know, she did the best she could, and I like them. I think that they're fun. The second thing I want to tell you is listen. Shuffles like a dream. Shuffles like a dream. So that has been my walkthrough of Tarot des Aux Arcs, Party in a Pack. Gorgeousness in the palm of your hand. I hope that you will all go out and purchase this deck, even if you just to look at with a cup of tea over a rainy day. It's a gorgeous deck. Go get it. Take care, everyone. Bye-bye.